Not everything is under our control, but we are doing our best.
We're doing our
Right?
best. Yes.
Okay. So, Jeff, thank you so much for having us here, for bringing us together.
Of course.
You're amazing.
Thank you. I'll just do a quick introduction of the show and then we can get started. The show is called How It Works, and I coined the phrase after the original 12-step recovery group, Alcoholics Anonymous, and one of their main readings is called How It Works. And to me, it's a statement of truth that how it works is describing how life works, not just how recovery works, but how life works for all humans. It's the one thing that we all have in common is these things called universal truth, and there's a lot of different ways to describe them. Uh, basically every person on the planet could have their own way to describe something that's universally true, have their own language for it, and it would still be true. It's just how we label it and how we try to express it to other people. And so I'm trying to pull people from many different backgrounds. And a lot of the people that we deal with are in 12-step recovery, but in some of the episodes coming up, we're going to have people that are not in 12-step recovery that have their own type of spiritual background. And, we'll try to give a full rounded expression of how it works and meaning again how life works and basically we're trying to all reach a level of inner peace and understanding and acceptance of reality. So our guest this week is Marion Beck, and I'm here with my co-host Selyna Breeze, who is a trauma specialist. Thank you, ladies, for joining me, and I'll just let you two go at it right now.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff. Hey, for Marian, I um going to introduce myself briefly. My name is Selyna, and I'm based in Belgium, and I um a hypnotherapist, particularly the RTT rapid transition therapy.
Oh, you froze up for a second.
We This question, as short as it is, but it can give us a very wide perception. So, Marion, today is your day. You're our special guest. So, we would love to hear your story. So, to
Okay.
inspire our viewers to know, um, I've heard you are in recovery with Jeff, and I'm sure you have a lot of beautiful story that you can tell us and our viewers also, and your life in general. Would love to hear it.
Yes. And thank you for having me. I thank God that every opportunity that He blesses me with, um, I'm able to share my testimony. Some people will call it a testimony. Some people will call it sharing my experience, strength, and hope with another human being. And I like to look at it both ways because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sharing my testimony to people that are not in recovery and people who are in recovery. I am sharing my experience, strength, and hope. My name is Marion Beck. Um, I'm 65 years old. I have been in recovery and clean and sober for 20 years. Um, I also am a very spiritual person. I believe in a creator. I don't. I choose to call my creator Yahweh, but in recovery we say a God of our own understanding, and in the Bible it says He said I will be called by many names. So whatever someone chooses to call him, I'm not offended by that. And I pray that people are not offended by the God of my understanding, who I choose to call Yahweh. I just know that for me, 20 years ago, I was in a dark place, you know, and I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I lost my mother, and I was in a very toxic, unhealthy relationship. And it's like two things collided and hit me all at one time. And so I called myself taking the easy route out, and I was trying to self medicate the pain. But however, I made the pain worse by trying to self medicate with alcohol and drugs. And so I advise anybody that's listening, that is not a good route. That can cause a bigger problem than you already have with dealing with the mental um, pain, the pain in your heart, the pain in your soul. That can make it even worse. And it took me, and it did make it worse for me. Matter of fact, it took me to a very dark place where I lost myself along the way. I lost my character along the way. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised with morals and respect and ethics, and integrity. And I lost all that. I didn't. I was in a place where I had never been in my life. I was raised in a two-parent household. Was it perfect? No, but I was never mentally, abused. I was never sexually abused. I had all my needs being met. I went to school. I got clothes. I got food. And I was taught integrity. I was raised with ethics. I was raised with respect. And it was a village raising us at that time. It was not just my parents, the neighbor next door, my godmother who stayed up the street from me. I went to church. I was raised to respect and believe in a power greater than myself, God. And I was very thankful for that, because eventually, even though I was in those dark times, the Bible says, train up a child in the which it should go. And even if it departs, it will find its way back. So eventually I found my way back. And God, I had hit a bottom so bad that I was homeless. Um, I lost me. I lost everything. And then I cried out to a power greater than myself, because see, one thing about um, anything, you have to want it. It's not a need. The 12-step program is not a need. You have to want better for yourself. You have to want help. You have to want a new mind change, a new perspective, a new way that you do things, that you see things, that you view things. And that's what God gave me when I cried out to Him, because I did a lot of foxhole prayers, believe me. I did a lot of prayers. If you help me this time, I won't do it no more. If you get me out of this, I won't do it anymore. And it's still some yes for me. No, don't. I'm not saying that I never went to jail. Praise God. That's nothing that I did. Um, but if I go back out there, I'm sure that it's a lot of things that I didn't do that I will do. Because um, it has no boundaries for us when it comes to being addicted to anything. Has no boundaries. It can take us to places and limits that we would never take ourselves. And so it did that for me. But once I reached out and I surrendered, I was blessed with the 12 steps, because the 12 steps and a program and a God of my understanding did for me what I couldn't do for myself. And I didn't, it's nothing that I did, and I wasn't so deserving of it, but it's everything that a loving God did for me. And He sent me to the 12 step program. I got a sponsor. I began to do the work that's required of me, because in how it works, it says, never have we rarely seen a person fail who thoroughly followed our path. So I got some stuff that people who pay for years never really get. I got it free of charge. And so in the 12 steps, I began to make a beginning on all 12 steps. I made meetings like I was drinking and drugging every day. I was in a recovery home, and I did not have a job. For the first 8 months of my recovery, I did not work. And I was supposed to give $400 a month to the recovery home. And out of those 8 months, not 1 month did I pay a dime to the recovery home. And no, I'm not going to say 8 months. I'm going to say 7, because I finally did get a job. And I got a job through a job readiness program. And I'm grateful for that job readiness program. And it's called the CARE program. And once I began to work, I was able, after I stayed on my job for 90 days, I was able, which I retired from that job, and I've been retired from, and I stayed on that job for 17 years, that same job, and I retired from that job. And I I was able to get my first apartment. So I was allowed a second chance to become a productive member of society. And so I tell anybody that's listening, only you can stop you from being a productive member of society, from making a change in your life. You can make a change if you want, not if you need. If you want to make a change, you can make a change. But I had to also remember that I can do nothing without a power greater than myself. See, everything, I did my part, and I still do my part in life. And that power greater than me begins to do for me what I can't do for myself. But faith without works is dead. So I have to do my part. I have to put in the work. I have to be committed. I have to, consistency is the key. I still make meetings. I still do service work 20 years later. I still give back what's been so freely given to me, and I love it. I love it, because this is a precious, priceless gift that not everybody receives. I'm not ashamed of where I was and what I did. I what was used against me was really for worked out for my good. So my higher power could get the glory and the honor for saving me from me, not from anybody else, not from my mother, not from my father, not from the next door neighbor, nobody. He saved me from myself. And so I got my job, I got my first apartment, and I began to learn how to live life on life terms, learn how to deal in those emotions that I couldn't deal with at first. I learned how to handle things that used to baffle me. Sure, things have happened over the 20 years that I didn't go back out and drink and drug about. I mean, things that shook me like an earthquake can shake you. Things that have had me in the middle of my bed crying in a fetal position. But guess what? The same God that got me through 20 years ago, He's still getting me through one day at a time now. And so all things are possible. I say everybody doesn't believe, but I say this to them. If you can stop breathing and you can start breathing on your own willpower, then you don't need a power greater than yourself. For me, I know that that's not reality. I cannot do that. I did not make the moon, the stars, the sun. And I don't know a man that made the moon, the stars, and the sun. As long as you know that you cannot do this on your own, you don't have to believe in my God, in my power. You can use uh the people in the meetings for an example because we're miracles. We didn't do it on our own. As long as you know that you cannot do it on your own by yourself. That's the most important thing. As long as you know that you cannot do it on your own or by yourself. And I believe that you sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but it will materialize if you work for it. So I'm grateful that I was asked to be here. I'm grateful that I'm not perfect. I'm still working on some character defects and shortcomings. We all have them. We don't have to be in the rooms to understand that we're not perfect, and we all need to work on some things. You know, I learned to stop looking out the window and bypassing the mirror. What does Marion need to work on? What can I ask God to deliver me from? Because I still had some other things that I was addicted to, and I still have some things that I'm still addicted to that I'm not necessarily need to be dealing with in life. But that's life. We all do. You know, we all do. It's a matter if we want to tell on ourselves or do we want to tell on other people. You know, I could be, it could be easy for me to tell you what somebody else's need to work on rather than telling you what Marion needs to work on. But the 12 steps have taught me to keep the focus on me, to ask God to deliver me, to make me better. His will in my life is being done now, not my will, because my will landed me a seat where I was. You know, someone said today on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends, she said, um, we can stop blaming it on the devil all the time and blame it on decisions that we made. And that was so powerful to me because I was trying to blame everybody else, but it was the decision that I made 20 years ago that landed me in here. And it's still some decisions that I have made, even in up to now, that can be good for me or it can be bad for me. But if I line my will up with a power greater than myself, the outcome is always going to be better than my will when I self will things for myself. So that's basically my story.
Now, Marion, you're still active in recovery. You still go to meetings, right?
I still go to meetings. I still participate in meetings. I just stopped chairing a meeting 4 years ago. I chaired meetings all of the time. Now but I still do service work in the meetings because I don't chair. I get there and I still will set up the tables and put out the chairs. I just did that on yesterday, you know. I still get speakers for a Saturday morning meeting that I'm in. Every second Saturday, we have a speaker. I still be the one recruiting the speakers, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm still very active in recovery. I still have a personal relationship with my higher power. You know, I don't go to church, but that's okay. Church is on the inside of me. God is on the inside of me. I know that I don't wake myself up. I know that I am not meeting all of my needs. I know that I'm not doing everything so perfectly. You know, I know He does these things because He loves me, not because I've done something so great that I'm so deserving of it. You know, I'm not perfect. And how it works, it says we're striving for progress, not perfection. In the Bible, it says, let the righteous say so. Not the perfect, the righteous. So I'm just trying to be pleasing in the God of my understanding eyesight, not man and woman. I used to be a big people pleaser. I'm telling you, he's saved me and he's delivered me from a lot of things. He said, "No, you don't have to please them. I want you to please me." And when man and woman is pleased, 9 out of 10 times, I'm just saying how I feel, God is not pleased. You can't please everybody. So I don't try. I just worry about if the God of my understanding is pleased with me. That's my biggest concern. And I believe that he is, because I haven't walked away from the gift that he gave me. And the gift that he gave me is so precious and priceless, and it's called recovery. It's called sobriety. And I'm forever grateful for that, because many are called, but few are chosen. I'm grateful to be one of the chosen ones. Yes.
Yeah, that's very,
Wow.
that there's a statistic, it's somewhere between 4 and 8% of the people introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous will get sober and stay sober.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really low percentage, but the interesting thing is 100% of the people that go through the steps with a sponsor and do the program the way it's intended, 100% of them will experience the benefits of the promises, the 9-step promises. So it's not that the program doesn't work, it's that
Right.
there's a very small percentage of people willing to work it.
Work it. You have to
Yeah.
work it. You have to put in the work. You can't just go up there and it's not like a magician is going to show up like Houdini and say and wave this magic wand and everything is going to go away. Because when I went in, I didn't know what to expect. I was so fearful. Oh, I cried every meeting, Jeff. I'm here to tell you, I was so full of shame and guilt and remorse. And I kept asking, how did I get here? But when I heard I had 3 sponsors, and one of them passed away. The other one no longer lives in Chicago, and I have a new one. And I'm making a beginning on all 12 steps with the new sponsor. Uh, and I'm grateful for that. But the sponsor that moved out of town, she told my story. And that's how I really get my sponsors. I look for the similarities and not the differences. And that's what let me know when I first went in. I think in my first couple of months, I was where I belonged. I was home. I finally found home because she told my story like she knew me. And I never saw this woman before in my life.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, how does this lady know me? I've never seen her before in my life. And God whispered to me, she doesn't know you. I know you. I've always known you. And you are home. Oh, I'm so grateful.
Oh, so amazing. Thank you so much, Marion, for sharing your story. Oh my God. I was thinking, your story is really, there's a great transformation there, and really focusing, you said focus on you. That is really powerful, because nothing works if you don't make it work, and
Yes.
wanting to make it work. Of course, there is this what they call knowledge action gap. Many people knows what to do, but they don't take the action to do it.
Mm.
Right.
And that's really what's playing in my mind. What a wonderful story. And I don't have a specific question, but will you please, for our viewers, could you give them one or two powerful statement to inspire them? Because there are so many people, they know they have to change, they know they have to do something, but there is a blockage. We all know that. There are so many people out there, they know. It's just what you can tell them to encourage them. Just one or two statements.
One of my biggest statements is don't allow fear to keep you where only faith can take you.
Hmm.
Step out in faith. You know, I was
Powerful.
so fearful when I left the treatment facility. I was in a 90-day treatment facility. I had no job, nothing. I had a black bag that they gave me, and it was full of clothes that I got from the treatment facility because they wouldn't allow you to bring in. I really didn't have much to bring in there anyway, but they wouldn't allow you to bring anything in there. And so I stood on the wall, and I remember my counselor putting this little bitty mustard seed in my hand. And I said, what am I supposed to do with this? Because I didn't want to leave. I was so fearful of leaving because I knew where I was going. A, I didn't have anything. B, that they was going to require me to give $400 a month, and I didn't have a dime. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have food stamps. I didn't have anything. I'm telling you, and I was very broken. And so on the inside, and so she said, your faith is going to make this grow. Your faith is going to keep you going. Your faith to believe that a power greater than you brought you this far and is going to take you the rest of the way. So don't let fear keep you in a place where only faith can take you. Faith,
Wow.
without
Thank you.
faith, it's impossible to please your higher power. Don't put your faith and trust in man. Put your faith and trust in that power greater than yourself. The other thing is, I want to say, honesty is very important. You cannot be honest with anybody else if you're not honest with yourself. Honesty is the first step and acceptance. You cannot,
Yes.
you have,
True.
step one is very powerful. It's very powerful. Yes, you have to admit that you're powerless over something and your life is unmanageable. What are those two components? Honesty and acceptance. Those are the very two components in step one. If you cannot do those two things, you will not go any further. You will be stagnated. So those are the two most powerful things I think anybody who's looking to get delivered from anything, and it's not just drugs and alcohol that we need deliverance from. It's a lot of things that we need deliverance. I picked up a whole lot of other addictions along the way, like shopping,
Mm.
the lottery, which is a part of gambling, eating.
Yeah.
Oh, a whole lot of other addictions popped up along the way. Yes, because I was substituting. I was trying to replace things. So what I started doing was replacing those things with the word. I started to replace those things with healthier when it came to eating. Now I'm replacing it with eating healthier, changing my mindset, people, places, and situations. So that's what I would advise people. Those are my two things.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayan. Very powerful. And people should, I think the one thing that people get into addiction is instant
Gratification. Yeah.
gratification, finding to cover up the pain, but
Yes.
instead it will become worse. But that is, I think, that's unconscious goal that they think they deserve to have that short time pleasure of alcohol or shopping or drugs. But
Yes.
then and until they realize what it is doing to their lives, they won't stop. It will become worse and worse and worse. And I
Yes,
think that's the thing, and that's our point here, to really let our whoever want to hear this, whoever need to hear this,
yes,
focus on their own situation and take action. And change is available, but it
yes,
doesn't happen automatically. We have to make it happen. We have to do the things to recover, to transform. Thank you so much, Marian. What an amazing story you have.
thank you for allowing me to come up and share. And I just want to say one more thing. Don't ever think that you're exempt. That was my mindset. I thought, oh no, it won't happen to me. It happened to them, but it won't happen to me. It won't have me homeless. It won't have me feeling despair and regret and depression and remorse. It won't have me feeling those things. But in fact, it had me so locked up on the inside that I felt all those things. Yes. But like I said, when I put in the work, I was taking depression medication. In my first 30 days, I cried every day that they had to take me to get me something to for me to sleep and to actually stop crying. Yes. So don't think that you're exempt. And one other thing, if you don't pick something up, then you won't have to know the end results.
Mm.
If you don't start doing something, then if you never try it, you won't have to know that if this had happened to you or not. That's all I have to say.
Great. You know, you both touched on something really important, and there's these two key components to change. People do not change unless they've hurt themselves enough and see hope for something better. And that's where that faith component comes in. You have to have faith that if you put in the work, the results will come. Not in your time, but in the exact time that it takes. And you know, if you have faith and just know that your efforts will be rewarded with results eventually, and put the end results out of your mind, then it's going to be okay. And that's also described in Bashar's 7 steps for manifesting. So again, these are universally true things. It's true for
Yes.
everybody. If you want to change, you got to let something go and work towards something better.
Yes.
So, Selyna, did you want to add anything else?
Well, to add just a short, just kind of reminder, when we hit rock bottom, it's not the end of everything.
Yes.
We have two choices: stay at the bottom, or
Yes.
just use the rest of our power to kick from the bottom going up.
True.
And
We
does.
fall down, but we can get back up. I love that's one of my favorite church songs. We fall down, but we get back up. Yes. We can only get back up if we want to. We have to put in the work though. Was it easy for me? No, it wasn't easy for me. But guess what? Every bit of the fight has been well worth it. And I'm grateful that I'm not where I used to be, and I might not be exactly where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. I'm exactly where I need to be. And I'm grateful for that.
And one
Um,
thing, just to recap, consistency. I've heard that
yes,
consistency is really important. If
yes,
you decide to start something,
yes.
keep going.
Keep
It
going.
doesn't matter how fast,
Yes,
how slow,
yes,
forward is forward.
yes. Consistency is the key. It's the key.
Yes.
And
Thank you for that word.
you have to remain teachable. You can't go in In the program, my sponsor told me, "Oh, Einstein will miss it and Bozo will get it." You have to dummy up, Marion, because you don't know nothing. I can't. I don't. I'm 65 and I still can learn something every day. I don't have all the answers. Be willing to take some constructive criticism and know it's coming from a loving place, and be
Yes.
willing
Love
to
that.
listen to somebody else and know that you don't know have all the answers.
Yes.
Yes.
Agree.
Great. Well, it's been another wonderful session. Again, I want to thank both of you ladies for joining me and helping me continue to create entertaining messages for the people that are struggling, and hopefully somebody gets something out of this, and we can help somebody feel a little bit better, one more day.
Thank you, Jeff, for inviting me and having me. And thank you, Queen. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. And thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you, Marian. Thank you for your precious time. And Chef, of course, thank you
Okay.
for doing this. Really.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
You're
You have no
welcome.
idea how grateful I am to be part of your workshop. And this is amazing. Let's do it. And Marion, keep in touch.
I will. I will.
There are so many people you have no idea how many people you inspire along the way by just telling your story or just being you, just spreading your energy.
Thank.
Amazing. Take care
All right.
and enjoy life as always. And keep moving forward. We keep moving forward.
I will. And have a blessed rest of your day. You too.
Thank you too.
All right.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.